December is here, and with it comes a powerful reminder that winter is not waiting around this year. The first days of the month are already making headlines, as a major winter storm barrels across the country, catching many off guard with its intensity and speed. Winter's making a dramatic entrance, with swirling clouds, biting winds, and the first real taste of the season's chill. For many, this is the earliest significant winter weather in recent memory, and it's arriving with a vengeance. A powerful coast-to-coast storm is sweeping across the U.S., stretching from the Pacific Northwest all the way to the eastern seaboard. It's bringing a dangerous mix of heavy snow, drenching rain, and a sharp drop in temperatures. Roads are already becoming treacherous, and travel plans are being disrupted as the system moves eastward. This isn't your typical early winter system. Millions from the Rockies to the Atlantic will feel its impact. Cities that rarely see snow this early are bracing for accumulations, while others are preparing for icy roads and power outages. The sheer size and strength of this storm make it a rare event for early December. The storm is fueled by a surge of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, which is colliding with a blast of Arctic air plunging southward. This classic setup is creating a sharp snow-rain divide, with some areas seeing a wintry mix and others facing relentless downpours. Meteorologists are closely monitoring the boundary, as small shifts could mean big changes in local impacts. Northern areas are bracing for significant snow, with forecasts calling for over a foot in some locations. Snowplows are already out in force, and residents are shoveling driveways and sidewalks, preparing for what could be days of wintry conditions. Schools and businesses are making contingency plans as the snow piles up. Meanwhile, the South faces a different threat: heavy rain and flooding concerns. Streets are quickly filling with water, and low-lying neighborhoods are on alert for flash floods. Emergency crews are urging drivers to stay off the roads as conditions deteriorate, and some communities are already seeing rising creeks and rivers. Behind the storm, the coldest air of the season will surge in, marking an abrupt transition from fall to winter. Temperatures are expected to plummet by 20 to 30 degrees in just a matter of hours, catching many off guard. The last of the autumn leaves are being buried under a blanket of snow, and people everywhere are bundling up against the biting wind. This system is just the beginning, paving the way for a prolonged cold snap as a lobe of the polar vortex descends into the lower 48. Meteorologists warn that this pattern could stick around, bringing repeated rounds of cold and wintry weather. The jet stream is dipping far to the south, opening the door for more Arctic air in the weeks ahead. Get ready, this pattern will dominate the next few weeks, so now's the time to prepare. Stock up on essentials, check your winter gear, and make sure your home and car are ready for whatever winter throws your way. With this major storm setting the stage, it's clear that winter has arrived in full force, and it's not going anywhere soon. The storm's journey begins high in the rugged peaks of the Rocky Mountains, where frigid air collides with moist Pacific winds. As the system intensifies, it unleashes a powerful snowstorm, blanketing the Rockies in a thick layer of snow and setting the stage for a dramatic cross-country trek. Heavy snow quickly descends on Colorado, transforming mountain towns and cities alike into winter wonderlands. In New Mexico, the storm's southern edge brings rare, significant snowfall, coating streets and landscapes that seldom see such wintry scenes. Residents brace for disruptions, as travel becomes treacherous and daily routines are upended. By Thursday, the storm surges eastward, its cold front sweeping across the Texas Panhandle and into Oklahoma. Amarillo and Oklahoma City, both accustomed to dramatic weather, prepare for what could be their first major snowfall of the season. Local authorities issue warnings, urging drivers to stay off icy roads and residents to stock up on essentials. As the system pushes further east, a dangerous mix of rain and snow develops. Highways become slick with slush and ice, making travel hazardous for anyone caught on the roads. Emergency crews stand by, ready to respond to accidents and stranded vehicles as visibility drops and conditions worsen. The storm then taps into warm, moisture-laden air from the Gulf of Mexico, spreading widespread precipitation across the Mississippi Valley and deep south. Torrential rain soaks the region, raising concerns about flash flooding in low-lying areas. In some places, thunder and lightning accompany the downpours, adding to the storm's intensity. By Thursday night, the storm's energy reaches the Appalachian Mountains and the East Coast. Here, cold air damming along the eastern slopes could bring significant snowfall to parts of Virginia and the Carolinas. areas where snow is often a rare and disruptive event. Local communities prepare for school closures and power outages as the snow begins to fall. This winter storm is a fast mover, racing from state to state. Its impacts are intense, but short-lived, with each region experiencing a brief period of heavy snow, rain, or icy conditions before the system quickly moves on. The rapid pace leaves little time for recovery before the next area is hit. From the towering Rockies to the Atlantic coastline, tens of millions of Americans will feel the effects of this powerful storm in just a matter of days. The storm's path stretches across thousands of miles, impacting communities large and small, urban and rural alike. It's a classic, high-impact winter storm, one that highlights just how interconnected our weather systems are. As snow, rain, and wind sweep from west to east, the nation is reminded of nature's power and the importance of preparation and resilience in the face of extreme weather. Who gets snow? It all depends on the storm's track and cold air. Expect a band of heavy wet snow from the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma. Amarillo and Oklahoma City are in the bullseye. As the storm moves east, snow targets the Appalachians, with Virginia and North Carolina's higher elevations likely to see several inches. Even a couple inches can disrupt travel and close schools in these regions. Cities like Nashville and Raleigh are on the rain-snow line. Just a few degrees will decide between slush and cold rain. The Rockies already have fresh powder, setting the stage for even colder air to follow. Snowpack will reinforce the cold, reflecting sunlight and dropping nighttime temperatures. This first storm is laying the groundwork for a frigid pattern ahead. While the north deals with snow, the south faces heavy, soaking rain. Gulf moisture fuels widespread downpours from East Texas through Georgia. 1 to 3 inches possible, especially along the coast. Cities like New Orleans, Mobile, and Pensacola could see localized flooding in low-lying areas. Gusty winds will make for a miserable, raw day, and commutes will be slowed by wet roads and poor visibility. Further inland, rain totals will be lower, but still enough to dampen the day. This rain is the warm, moist side of the storm, fueling its overall intensity. The sharp contrast between rain in the south and snow in the north is what powers this system. Southern residents should prepare for flooding and difficult travel, even if they avoid the snow. After the storm, a blast of Arctic air surges in, courtesy of the polar vortex dipping south. An intense high-pressure system settles over the Midwest, combining with fresh snowpack for rapid, dramatic temperature drops. Sub-zero lows are expected across the upper Midwest, with some spots challenging daily records. Even afternoon highs will struggle to reach double digits. This is not just typical December cold, it's a dangerous, record-breaking chill. The cold will linger, keeping much of the country in a deep freeze. It's a sharp, biting transition into winter, and precautions are essential. Bundle up and limit time outdoors. This Arctic outbreak is serious. A relentless Arctic blast is gripping the upper Midwest, sending temperatures plummeting to some of the coldest levels seen in years. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois are at the epicenter of this deep freeze, with overnight lows plunging to a bone-chilling -10 to -16 degrees Fahrenheit. In cities like Minneapolis and Chicago, residents are waking up to streets coated in ice and snow, and the bitter cold is making even the simplest outdoor tasks a challenge. Digital temperature signs flicker with numbers well below zero, a stark reminder of the dangerous conditions outside. But it's not just the thermometer readings that are cause for concern. Powerful winds are sweeping across the region, driving wind chills to even more dangerous levels, sometimes dipping to -30 or lower. The combination of fierce gusts and frigid air makes it feel much colder than the actual temperature, and the risk of frostbite and hypothermia increases dramatically. In these conditions, frostbite can set in within minutes on exposed skin. That's why experts are urging everyone to bundle up in layers, cover every inch of skin, and limit time spent outdoors as much as possible. Even a quick walk to the car or mailbox can be hazardous. Schools are closing, and many businesses are encouraging employees to work from home to avoid unnecessary exposure. As the week progresses, this brutal cold isn't staying put. By Friday, the deep freeze is forecast to expand eastward, gripping Indiana and Ohio in its icy grasp. While a slight moderation in temperatures may occur in the western parts of the region, most areas will continue to endure harsh winter conditions. This isn't just a brief cold snap, It's a prolonged event that will last for several days, putting a significant strain on infrastructure. Power lines and water mains are at risk of freezing, and utility crews are working around the clock to keep essential services running. Vulnerable populations, including the elderly and those without adequate shelter, face heightened risks, and local shelters are preparing for increased demand. Over the weekend, another surge of Arctic air is expected to reinforce the cold, especially across the northern plains. Blizzard conditions may develop, with blowing and drifting snow, reducing visibility, and making travel treacherous. The relentless wind and cold will test the endurance of both people and infrastructure. The Great Lakes region will be especially hard hit, as frigid air sweeps over the still unfrozen waters. This setup is perfect for intense lake-effect snow, with bands of heavy snow developing rapidly and dumping several inches, or even feet, of accumulation in localized areas. The combination of snow and wind will create whiteout conditions at times. Communities in the snowbelt regions of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New York should brace for these powerful snow squalls. Travel could become nearly impossible during the heaviest bursts, and local officials are urging residents to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Emergency crews are on standby, ready to respond to stranded motorists and weather-related accidents. For millions across the Midwest and Northeast, this extended period of cold and snow will mark a dramatic and memorable start to winter. From shoveling driveways to bundling up children for school, daily routines are being reshaped by the relentless weather. As communities come together to face the challenges ahead, staying informed and prepared will be key to getting through this deep freeze safely. As December continues, the polar vortex retreats slightly, but a strong northwest flow sets up a parade of Alberta clippers. These fast-moving storms bring bursts of light, fluffy snow, usually 1 to 4 inches at a time. Clippers can arrive every couple of days, keeping the northern U.S. and southern Canada in a cycle of frequent, light snow. Forecasting their exact track is tricky, but the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast are most at risk. Persistent cold ensures all precipitation falls as snow. The Great Lakes will enhance snowfall, with snowbelt towns seeing much higher totals than areas farther away. This pattern keeps a fresh blanket of snow on the ground, reinforcing the cold. The winter landscape is here to stay for many. With this active cold pattern, many are wondering, will we have a white Christmas? The Mountain West is a sure bet, with deep snowpack for holiday ski trips. The Great Lakes region also looks promising thanks to regular clippers and lake-effect snow. Persistent cold means snow won't melt, so cities from Minneapolis to Buffalo are likely to see a winter wonderland. For others, it depends on whether the storm track stays active and cold air holds. Each clipper that dips south increases the odds for a white Christmas in the Ohio Valley and Appalachians, but a late-month warm-up could still change the outlook for some. Stay tuned. As we approach the holidays, long-range forecasts remain uncertain. Models disagree on whether the polar vortex will bring more cold or retreat. The position and strength of the vortex will dictate if we see more Arctic blasts or a milder pattern. For now, the best advice is to stay prepared and flexible. Keep winter emergency kits ready at home and in your car. Check on neighbors, especially the vulnerable, and make sure everyone has warm clothing. Stay tuned to local weather updates for the latest information. We'll keep monitoring the evolving pattern to help you stay safe. Whatever December brings, being ready is your best defense.